Did you know that over 60% of players struggle and die in their first few days in Valheim? Okay, I've made that number up, but it's definitely high. This guide will walk you through your first days in Valheim, making sure you're prepared without feeling overwhelmed. This is also the first part of a full beginner's guide series covering all biomes. So stick around if you want to master Valheim from start to finish. Phase 1. Surviving your first days in Valheim. Tip 1. Listen to Hugin. Yes, really. Stop punching the messenger. Hugin's tutorial is actually helpful. He teaches you the basics of fighting, building and surviving. If you've been ignoring him, don't worry. All his advice is saved in the compendium. And don't forget to take a look at the Vecvisir at your spawn point. It reveals the location of the first boss on your map. Tip 2. Stamina. The true boss of Valheim. Everything you do, running, fighting, swimming, uses stamina. If it runs out at the wrong time, you're done for. Get used to watching your stamina bar and pacing yourself. Tip 3. Eat or die trying. Food directly affects your health and stamina. Start with berries and mushrooms, then add cooked meats. Most importantly, find beehives. Destroying them gives you a queen bee, which lets you build a beehive for an endless honey supply. One of the best early foods and useful later. Tip 4. Fire and shelter, nighttime essentials. Night brings tougher enemies and the cold debuff. Here's what to do. Fire keeps enemies away and removes cold. Build a shelter or use abundant structures for safety. Make sure your fire has ventilation. Smoke inhalation is deadly. Always get the rested buff before heading out. Tip 5. Smart gathering and quick resources. Dismantle abandoned structures with a workbench to get free wood and other resources. Prioritize gathering food, flint, leather scraps from boars and deer hides. Out exploring and feeling sluggish? That's your rested buff running out. Take a moment, drop a campfire and relax until it's back. You'll move faster, fight better and get more done. All for a few pieces of wood and stone lying around anyway. Phase 2. Learning to fight and hunt. Tip 6. Fighting is a dance. Learn the steps. Combat is about timing, stamina and patience. Watch enemy patterns before attacking. Dodge roll or sidestep to avoid damage. Tip 7. The spear, your best early weapon. A flint spear is your best friend early on. It's easier to skill than other weapons, does good damage and can be thrown. This makes hunting deer a breeze. Get one ASAP. Tip 8. Practice blocking while it's safe. Holding right click blocks attacks and with the shield equipped you'll absorb a lot of damage. If you time your block just right, you'll parry, staggering enemies and dealing bonus damage. The Meadows are the perfect place to get comfortable with blocking since the fights are low risk. You won't need perfect timing yet, but when you eventually run into a skeleton or grey dwarf too early, you'll be glad you've practiced. Phase 3. Building your first base without losing your mind. Tip 9. Take time to learn the building system. The building mechanics in Valheim can be confusing at first. Snap points, stability, comfort levels, it's a lot. Don't stress about making a perfect Viking hall right away. Start with a small enclosed shelter, 4 walls, a roof, a bed and a fire, with a chimney and a workbench. Play around with snapping and structure to get a feel for it. This is the perfect time to experiment. If your fire keeps going out, it probably needs more ventilation. Tip 10. Storage that actually helps you. Valheim inventory fills up fast. Here's how to stay sane. Burn 1 piece of meat to make 1 piece of coal, which lets you craft signs for your chests. Start with 5 to 6 chests and label them clearly. Here's a great early setup. 1 for food, 1 for arrow materials, 1 for armor and tool materials, 1 for stone and wood, 1 for trophies and 1 for random overflow. You'll need it, trust me. Place your chest near your workbench. It makes crafting much smoother. Tip 11. Light base defenses. Good enough for now. You might want to place a few stake walls or even just some round pull fences to keep annoying visitors away. Want fewer enemies altogether? Campfires actually suppress enemy spawns even when they're not lit. Place a few just outside your base perimeter. It's a subtle trick that makes a big difference. Just be aware that campfires can be destroyed over time, so keep an eye on them and rebuild as needed. Phase 4. Preparing for Eikthyr, your first boss. Tip 12. Preparations before the fight. If you followed my tips, you should have already found the boss spawn location. If not, head there now and get it displayed on your map. You'll need 2 deer trophies at the altar to summon the boss. Eat the best food available to you. This will help you survive a hit or two if things go south. Aim for a good balance between stamina and health. Bring at least 20 stones and a stack of wood to set up campfires during the fight. Tip 13. Fight smart, not hard. Place campfires at spawn. This will do a good chunk of damage. Run around the boss placing campfires. If he runs off, use your spear to attack him. Place campfires between you and the boss for additional fire damage. Dodge to avoid his lightning and melee attacks. Woohoo! Now you're ready for the Black Forest. Phase 5. Entering the Black Forest. Tip 14. Activate your new power. You get a new power once you've placed the boss trophy and the sacrificial stones. This reduces stamina usage by 60% for running and jumping. Very helpful if you get in trouble. Tip 15. Gear and upgrades. Forget about leather armor, it's barely an upgrade from rags. But don't forget to use Eikthyr's antlers to craft your first pickaxe. This unlocks mining, allowing you to gather ore and start progressing towards Bronze Age. And this lets you dig trenches around your base, which will be helpful for Tip 16. Surviving raids. Use your base to your advantage. When the message "the forest is moving" appears, grey dwarfs are coming to raid your base. Stake walls offer basic protection, but terrain is even better. You can use your hoe to raise the ground around your base, but this requires loads of stones. A cheaper way is to dig a moat with your new pickaxe. Both solutions make your base completely untouchable for now. Grey dwarfs can't climb or cross those barriers, so you can watch them struggle from the safety of your base. You can fight from a higher position, head outside to engage them, or retreat inside to recover if things get too hectic. Raids always spawn a fixed number of enemies, so if you kill one, a new one will spawn until the raid ends. That means unless you're farming for resources, you can sit out the raid safely inside your fortress. Tip 17. Black Forest survival. Use the terrain and enemies wisely. Wandering in the Black Forest means you'll be facing groups of grey dwarfs and sometimes worse. Don't fight in open spaces where you can get surrounded. Use the trees to split up groups or break line of sight. Use larger boulders or elevation to get breathing room or escape if needed. Campfires placed during a fight will scare grey dwarfs, even mid-combat. It's a weirdly effective panic button. Got too many chasing you? Lure them towards skeletons guarding burial chambers or ruins. They'll start fighting each other, leaving you to pick off the survivors or just bail. Tip 18. Trolls. Big, loud, but beatable. Bows and fire arrows are the safest approach. Stay mobile and don't get cornered. Use trees or rocks for distraction, but be careful. If they smash, you die. But trolls are not very smart and will have a hard time finding their way to you. Their swings are slow and with practice easy to dodge. If you learn to dodge them now, it'll help you later. And if it gets overwhelming, just run. Trolls are easily distracted and give up quickly. Tip 19. Exploring burial chambers. Burial chambers are dungeons with skeletons, ghosts and loot. The best weapon here is your club. Placing campfires or a cooking station can help if you get overwhelmed. Loot the treasures and the circling cores needed for metalworking and portals, which will be a great addition for further exploration. Tip 20. Mining, new resources and upgrades. You find copper scattered around the Black Forest. For tin, you have to search near water. Mark deposits on your map for later. Use your first copper to craft a forge. Use your first bronze to craft bronze nails. This lets you learn the recipe for the cart, which will help you to carry large amounts of ore home. You will need it. If you feel comfortable in dodging troll attacks by now, use them to help you gathering resources quickly, like metals, fine wood or core wood. Tip 21. Armor and gearing up. My recommendation, don't bother to craft the bronze armor. It makes you slow and has only a little bit more armor than my favorite troll set. As a new weapon, I suggest crafting the fine wood bow. And of course, make any upgrades to your workstations, gear and weapons you can afford. By crafting the cauldron, meat kettle and fermenter, you gain access to new foods and potions, which will help you to stay alive. Now you're ready to face the Elder. Phase 6. Preparing for the Elder. Tip 22. If you made it this far, give me just a moment. I'm Malina, your spineless shield maiden, learning and thriving in Valheim one mistake at a time and sharing everything I've picked up along the way. If this video's been helpful or you just love Valheim as much as I do, give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks and adventures to come. Thanks for watching. Now back to the video. Finding the Elder's location. Look for a requisite stone in burial chambers or Grey Dwarf camps. It reveals the Elder's altar. This might be also the time where you build your first ship, the Carve, to travel to his location. Tip 23. Build a portal near the boss. Set up a portal at your base and one near the boss for quick escapes or for a death run, which hopefully won't happen after all you've already learned. Tip 24. Elder fight tips. The easiest way to defeat him? Set him on fire. Basically the same tactic we used for Eikthyr. If you don't feel like it or something goes wrong, use pillars to avoid his range attacks. Fire arrows are your friend. Bring 150 of them to the fight. You might not need all of them if you manage to do the campfire tactic, but it's better to be prepared than sorry. Avoid the roots he summons by moving from pillar to pillar. They hit hard. Final takeaways. Congratulations, this is your second boss defeated. By now you should feel confident, equipped and ready for bigger challenges. Which one of these 25 tips was the most useful for you? I got you covered for your Valheim future as well. This guide is part of a full beginner series covering all biomes, so if you want to master Valheim from start to finish, stick around for the next episode. Up next, the Swarm, where everything is wet, poisonous and trying to kill you. Click the notification bell so you won't miss it. And if you can't get enough tips, check out the 10 tips everyone should know. And remember, legends aren't born, they die, respawn and prevail.